Previously on the Final Curtain Call, Part 2. Chloe and Jennia check into the eerie Heartbreak Hotel, only to be met with suspicious behavior from the staff. Their friendly smiles mask something sinister. Little do the girls know, the hotel workers are actually undercover agents watching their every move. Meanwhile, Just Mr. P is brought to the long-abandoned estate at the 100 North Carrollwood Drive by agents Bahatti and Flowers. There, deep beneath the property, he's led into a cold, grave-like warehouse, sensing danger. Just Mr. P breaks free and runs, only to come face to face with the unthinkable truth. Michael Jackson is alive, and the videos Just Mr. P has been making all this time were never a conspiracy. They were reality. The mystery deepens in The Final Curtain, Part 3.
The silence in room 777 was heavy, the kind that settles between two people when fear is sitting in the room with them. Chloe sat cross-legged on the floor, remote in hand, flipping through channels on the dusty hotel television. Jennia leaned forward slightly on the edge of the bed, her eyes tired but alert. Suddenly, the screen lit up with an urgent red banner. Breaking news! Both women sat up straight. On the screen appeared a poised woman seated behind a news desk. Her voice was steady and practiced, but there was a tension beneath the polish. Good evening, I'm Fiona Rossum with PIX 11 News. Popular YouTuber Daryl Just Mr. P. Wood has reportedly gone missing. He's known for his research on conspiracy theories and is a former co-host of a podcast show. Chloe's stomach turned. Jennia leaned forward, eyes wide. Wait, what? This makes the news? Authorities are now seeking two women as persons of interest in the case, Fiona continued. They are wanted for questioning. The screen cut to black and white highway surveillance footage. A black van speeding down the freeway that Just Mr. P appears to be the driver of. A red car in pursuit, unmistakably the one Chloe and Jennia had rented. Then a jarring jump cut to manipulated footage of a violent crash. Sparks and smoke, another video cut. Chloe and Jennia, or people made to look exactly like them, dragging an unconscious Just Mr. P from the wreckage and shoving him into the trunk. The screen turning to a commercial with a jingle that felt nauseating, in contrast to what Chloe and Jennia had just seen. Chloe changes the channel, and once again another news report, showing them being responsible for the kidnapping. With each channel flip, another news report played, placing the idea into the minds of the public that Jennia and Chloe were responsible for the disappearance of Just Mr. P. Jennia stared at the dark screen, then turned to Chloe, face pale. What the hell? Are we being framed for your friend's kidnapping? Chloe didn't answer at first. Her jaw clenched as she slowly reached for the borrowed laptop on the table. Her fingers were tense as she opened it. This has to be a joke, she finally said, her voice cold and low. That's not what happened. She typed quickly, opened YouTube, and searched the channel they'd been following for months.
Operation Mockingbird is a large-scale program of the USA Central Intelligence Agency that began in the early 1950s and attempted to manipulate news media for propaganda purposes. According to the CIA, the doors to this program were shut as of February 1976. Despite the CIA would declare this operation to have been closed, there is plenty of evidence that shows the media manipulation program is still active. The program has evolved and is still currently being used, and I'd like to show you guys how with an example.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Repeat a lie often enough and it becomes the truth. Jennia blinked, trying to process. Operation what now? Chloe didn't look up. Operation Mockingbird. It's media propaganda. The idea is, if you control the narrative and repeat it enough, the public will believe anything. She turned the screen to Jennia. That's what this is. That's what Michael used. It was a part of what helped him make his death to the public believable. Jennia let out a tired groan and rubbed her temples. Chloe, girl, I can't. Not tonight. We've got a long drive to Pennsylvania in the morning. I need some sleep. I'll stay up, Chloe said softly. Just for a bit, or maybe just to keep an eye out. Fine. Jennia yanked the blanket over her head as she flopped onto the bed. But you're driving next time. As Jennia drifted into the safety of sleep, Chloe remained on the couch, her body still but her mind racing. The soft hum of the old TV faded into the background. In front of her, on the coffee table, sat the pink portable hard drive, quiet and unassuming. But Chloe's eyes kept shifting from the drive to the crack of light at the bottom of the door, back and forth. Her breathing slowed, but her senses stayed sharp. Every creak in the hallway felt louder than it should. Something didn't feel right, and Chloe knew morning couldn't come fast enough.
The flickering light bulb swung gently above them, casting distorted shadows on the cracked concrete floor. Just Mr. P stood frozen, still trying to reconcile the impossible that Michael Jackson was standing just feet away, very much alive. His breath hitched, his knees trembled, but Michael looked calm, weathered but calm, like a man who had lived 1,000 lives behind closed doors. "I've been everywhere," Michael said finally, his voice low and melodic, but heavier than it once was. "And I'm done hiding." The words hung in the air like incense smoke, impossible to grasp, yet undeniably present. Michael stepped closer, eyes sharp, beneath the brim of his fedora. "And you," he added, "where have you been, getting all this information about me? About my whereabouts, the things you post, the clips, the patterns you piece together. They're not public. Well, not really." Just Mr. P didn't respond. He couldn't. His mouth was dry. His body was frozen. Not from fear, but from the tidal wave of disbelief crashing over him. The king of pop was standing before him, flesh and blood, waiting for an answer. But there were no words. Michael noticed the silence and smirked. "Hold that," he said, gripping a gloved hand into his coat pocket. From within, he pulled out a hexagon-shaped key, metallic, strange, and futuristic. He stepped toward the metal door behind Just Mr. P and slid the key into a concealed slot behind it. A soft click echoed through the room as the lock engaged. The door creaked open. In stepped Agent Bahatti and Agent Flowers. Suit still spotless, hair still unmoved by the rain. Agent Bahatti looked directly at Mr. P and shook his head with a disappointed smile. "I told you," he said gently. "You were safe with us, Mr. Wood, but you ran." Just Mr. P finally found his voice, and it exploded like a dam breaking. "You scared me," he shouted. "You pulled me from my home. You threw me in a van in the middle of the damn night, dragged me into this fucking horror movie of a warehouse, and now I'm supposed to be okay because Michael fucking Jackson is standing in front of me? He paced backwards, eyes wide and wild. This isn't real. This can't be real. I should just bang my head on the wall and I hope to wake up. Michael chuckled, stepping to the side with his hands in his pockets. If you do that, he said, half grinning, the only thing you'll wake up to is the rest of us still here in this room, waiting to talk. Just Mr. P blinks. Talk about what? Agent Bahatti then steps forward, asking, What do you mean, talk about what? The death hoax, he said plainly, and the information you're putting out. Agent Bahatti then glances at Michael and says, Mr. Jackson has allowed us to release things to his fans over the years. Little bits, controlled leaks, but recently he hasn't said anything. Not a word. And yet somehow, you're still out here faithfully dropping new information, clues, connections, patterns. Just Mr. P then folds his arms. Things he didn't even expect you to find. Michael moved in beside him, face serious. So how were you doing it? He asked. How did you know where I was? Every time I change cities, continents, identities, days later, there's a new video from you. Accurate, detailed, sometimes too accurate. Just Mr. P couldn't respond. Not yet. The tension in the room was suffocating, like the walls themselves were leaning in to listen. Michael tilted his head slightly, eyes never leaving him. Tell me, he said, quieter this time, who are you really working with? But there was no answer, only silence. This is your narrator, Just Mr. P. I thank you for tuning into this video. If you like these death hoax related fan fictions, then stay tuned for part 4 of The Final Curtain. Also, please continue to like, comment, and subscribe on these videos. Also share them. Much love, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.